to the School of Violin Artistry. In this video, we're going to study one of my all-time favorite pieces, Schön Rosmarin by Fritz Kreisler. The basic notes of this piece are very easy, so that leaves us free to concentrate on the important stuff, playing it with charm and style by using our bow technique. We'll be using 3 bow strokes: up bow staccato, the détaché, and the spiccato. The up bow staccato can be long and velvety, or it can be short and playful. Also, the staccato can be on the string or off the string. When it comes off the string, we call it a flying staccato. Probably that's the one we'll want. So, like a painter, we've prepared our palette with all the colors we need. Détaché, flying staccato, and spiccato. I like to start with the bow on the string. I linger a little on the first note, and then I let the music move and let the bow move. Then the same pattern again. Now, this next passage gives us a wonderful opportunity to shape the phrase with a combination of spiccato and détaché. This is part of your bow technique. You can practice it this way: 1 measure spiccato, 1 measure on the string. These 2 bow strokes are so closely related. They're both produced with a forearm stroke. So I start the passage détaché on the string, turning into spiccato, a little more détaché at the top of the phrase, and back to spiccato. Here's the whole thing again. So practice that smooth transition between détaché and spiccato. Schön Rosmarin, beautiful rosemary. What kind of person do you think Rosemary was? Serious? Thoughtful? I don't think so. Dignified? Commanding? Impulsive? Changeable? Capricious? She flits around from one thing to the next. She flits around from one boyfriend to the next. Always delightful. But every so often she puts her foot down. For me, one way to express this changeableness, good word, changeableness, is with the tempo. So, along with the constantly changing bow strokes, I'm taking a lot of freedom with the tempo, and that seems to work very well. I linger a little on the first note, then go ahead. The same pattern again, but less the second time. Now going ahead and pulling back. Now, all the basic rhythmic freedom that I've been talking about needs to be in the context of the basic waltz rhythm, which is in the piano part. This is the framework. Everything you do needs to fit within this framework. When I teach this piece to one of my private students, we'll always spend a few minutes playing it with the piano part, right from the first lesson, so that the student gets as much experience as possible listening and relating to the piano part. For the moment, the piano is just providing a steady beat, and I'm fitting in. can't find anybody who can play the piano part with you, then the next best thing is the metronome. Once you've gotten comfortably in the groove, then see how musically you can play it within the beat. I'm able to stretch the first note by starting it a little early like this. And the same in the next phrase. Now in this next part, that's a little square. I need some flexibility. So our goal here is to be able to bend and stretch the tempo without losing the basic feel of the waltz rhythm. Someone once said the tempo should be like a rubber band. You can stretch it, but the proportions always remain the same. Have you ever heard a recording of Kreisler himself playing this piece? You can find one on YouTube. Not only was Kreisler a great violinist, in fact one of the greatest of all time, but his playing embodies a whole tradition, the whole Viennese tradition which is so central to our music. So listen to Kreisler and enjoy his magnificent artistry. Then listen again, more analytically. See if you can tell which bow strokes he's using. Listen to the way he stretches and bends the tempo within the context of an ever-present pulse. And listen to how he does much more than is written on the page. In particular, listen to how he plays the same music differently each time. So, the first time he might do something like this. And the second time, different dynamics, different bow strokes, different rubato, different mood. That's all part of the tradition, embodied by Fritz Kreisler. In the middle section, the music is organized in groups of 2 measures. In fact, we might think of it this way. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 3 and 3. When we look at it that way, Kreisler's bowings make a lot of sense. Down and up and up and down and up and up. Long and short and short and long and short and short. Meanwhile, the piano is maintaining the waltz rhythm. The mood has changed. It's kind of stubborn and unyielding, much different from the beginning. But at any rate, we still have the basic 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 feeling, which combines with the 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 that the violin has. Putting it all together, we get this. So, summing up, we've talked about the 3 bow strokes, détaché, spiccato, and flying staccato. We've talked about the smooth transition between détaché and spiccato. We've talked about relating to the basic waltz rhythm in the piano part and combining that with rhythmic freedom. We've analyzed the rhythmic patterns in the middle section. We've talked about Kreisler and the Viennese tradition. And we've talked about the imaginary rosemary. and how this music portrays her. So, happy practicing. Enjoy exploring and experimenting and making your version of this piece something very special.